Earlier reports that we got before the start of this month were that Gabriel Jesus was expected to be playing in the game of Leicester versus Arsenal, and that is today. But as it stands, looks like it's not the case, but he is just a week away from returning to the first training sessions or first team training sessions of Arsenal at London Conley. And today we are bringing you a story that shows you that he is just on the verge of making his debut into the Arsenal training side, as Mikel Arteta is so much happy and excited about his latest progress as far as this is concerned. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Rokani David is my name. Brandon Rogers has also gone ahead and really hinted about the importance of Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. And William Saliba is trophy hungry for Arsenal. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. But the other player that is giving Mikel Arteta headache is none other than Fabio Vieiria, and Mikel Arteta is going to have to confirm to us why this player known as Fabio Vieiria is giving him restless headaches as far as his position at Arsenal is concerned. Now, let's start off with Gabriel Jesus, a player that I believe that adds more or wins Arsenal games attackingly and helps them win them while defending, because he covers all the pitch. His hit map is really uncompared. It's a bit out of this world. When you look at how he really runs into those spaces, Gabriel Jesus is really another player that is really restless and relentless. He runs, and his former manager at Man City referred to him as the best pressing forward in the world. That is Gabriel Jesus for you, and you've known why he is really one of those players that isn't ready to come in through and not give or put his body on the line every time he's being called. Remember, before he got an injury, Arsenal was firing all cylinders, but as it stands, looks like there is a certain position of Arsenal that is not going all in well. And there is another shocking story about the strikers of Arsenal as to why Gabriel Jesus' return is going to be very much important. It's all about Eddie Nketiah, that he might not even be able to play today, and Trossard might play as a false number 9 for Arsenal because he has been playing the previous 2 games with any injury. So it shows you that the Gabriel Jesus return is imminent, and Mikel Arteta wants to get his man back. And this is what Mikel Arteta said after being asked about the progress of this guy, Gabriel Jesus, the 25-year-old Brazilian international. He said the following, that he's progressing really well. He's doing more and more on the field, and he's not reacting negatively. So that's really positive. We want to have him back as quick as possible, but also respect the time frame we got. He's really pushing the boundaries right now. Now, as it stands, it looks like there is nothing like a negative or a setback sign for Gabriel Jesus, and the manager is confirming to us that he's progressing really well. And him progressing really well just sends Arsenal fans into total elation and frenzy, because you all know the importance of this guy, and the more he's out, the more Arsenal fans are really getting to know that he's the most important player on the field of play. Because even when with Thomas Partey available, a player that most Arsenal fans believe that is the most important player of the club, they've gone ahead to win these games. But they've gone ahead to win games and also lose games. But when Jesus is around, you just get to know how much he really makes all the front 3 of Arsenal look better. Martinelli looks better, Saka looks better, Odegaard is really firing in, because his runs off the ball are really great and they create space for his fellow teammates. So, talking about his positivity into this is something that Mikel Arteta is showing us that he's really excited about this guy, and he knows that they just need to win the next 2 games and they're going to have him back. I believe he's not going to really hurry him back, because they need to see to it that they really meet the time frame of the doctors. But I think if Mikel Arteta was a manager who wanted to hurry him back, would have brought him today to play against Leicester, but I believe he's not going to bring him because it doesn't make sense, because he might come in through, then he gets an injury again and gets a setback. So I don't see Arteta trying to make that huge mistake of Gabriel Jesus. But as it stands, he is really pushing the boundaries right now and very well. What a story that Arsenal fans are going to be elated about, because this guy is really one of the best forwards in the world. He's a world-class player. He's not top class. He's a world-class player. I support Manchester United, but Rashford is nowhere near Gabriel Jesus. That's it, because this guy, what he brings to the field of play is totally different from what Rashford does. Rashford doesn't make the players around him look good. You get? The players around Rashford, the ones who make him look good. But for Gabriel Jesus, it's the opposite. He makes the players around him look good. And to show his importance into this Arsenal side, by the time he got an injury, he had got close to 6 assists and 5 goals, 11 goal involvements in close to 16 or 17 games. That is Gabriel Jesus for you. And ever since he left, I think it's only Bukayo Saka that has really gone ahead to have close to 18 goal involvements with 9 goals in the Premier League and 8 assists and 1 goal, I think, in the UEFA Europa League. That's it. No other players really gone ahead to surpass that number. I think Martinelli has also reached 10. I think even Trossard, but not for Arsenal, just scored 1 goal. When you add on the 7 he had when he was playing for which side? Brighton, it really calls in for that. But he is really one of those beasts that you wouldn't like to be missing in your team as far as leading that line is concerned. He's not a player who offers you lots of goals, but he really helps the team a lot. And in my understanding, I believe, when he comes in at Arsenal and starts playing from like March, April, May, if at all he plays like 13 out of the remaining games of the Premier League, I think he can hit double figures in the league. He can hit double figures in the league, because time is going to come when Jesus will score a hat-trick or a brace, and he'll keep himself running throughout the season and firing in goals left, right, and center. And you never know, he might even return and play the game of Arsenal where they're playing Sporting Lisbon in the UEFA Europa League round of 16. So that is it for Gabriel Jesus. He's soon returning, and just find yourselves ready, because the manager is telling us that the progress is really very good and very promising. So the player is nowhere near not returning, and very soon he's returning to the training sessions of Arsenal. And next week, I think we're going to hear some good news that Jesus is training with the first team of Arsenal. That's it. Now, Brendan Rodgers, the manager of Leicester City, has gone ahead and really said the following about Arsenal. He said that they signed 2 players, Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, who are game changers for them in terms of mentality. When you have got the likes of Tierney on bench, who is an outstanding player because of Zinchenko starting, it shows you how broad or how the quality depth the team of Arsenal has. But I would like to go ahead and talk about Gabriel Jesus, that is being appreciated by even other managers because of his mentality and his skill set that he has at the club of Arsenal. That means Arsenal are really having a very huge miss for him. And remember, the last game they played, Leicester City, they beat them by 4-2 at the Emirates. I've seen people coming out and really insinuating that maybe Arsenal might drop points. I know the game of football is made of 3 results: a loss, a draw, which is a D, and a win, which is a W. But I feel nothing. I feel nothing like a loss for Arsenal. I think they are going to fight and put their bodies in the line and shock this Leicester City side. That's it. So let's wait and see how that's going to pan out. But talking about Zinchenko coming in through and really benching Tierney, who's a very good player, Tierney is just wanting out of Arsenal because he doesn't believe that it's going to be the time for him to spend another season without playing games of football. With the pressure of Nuno Tavares and his performances at Marseille, I believe he might find himself leaving this club of Arsenal. Now, after that, let's talk a little bit about another player known as Fabio Vieiria that Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to confirm to us that he's giving him a lot of headache. And in his own words, as he was talking to the Mirror, he told us that for Fabio Vieiria, he's starting to give me big headaches because I see every single day what he's capable of doing. He now understands exactly what we want, and physically, he's in a condition to compete at the right level in this league. Now, I think Mikel Arteta sometimes listens to what we, the people who really watch the game of football from this side, really think about. I think if at all you are really a person who has been here watching this channel a lot, I've always called in for Fabio Vieiria to start ahead of Granit Xhaka, and you guys have also gone ahead to give me support because Xhaka is not press resistant. I believe, or I reckon, that if you get Fabio Vieiria, play him in the midfield of Jorginho and Martin Odegaard, you get more attacks from Arsenal. Even if it's Thomas Partey, Fabio Vieiria, and Odegaard, I believe you add a little bit of more quality to your ball possession, being press resistant, and secondly, your threat in front of goal. Why? Fabio Vieiria shoots well outside the Tina's box area. Secondly, he has an assist on him. Thirdly, this guy has a very good dribbling set of skills. So if at all you really have him in your team, he's just that one kind of player that does what Xhaka can't do. You get? He does what Granit Xhaka can't do. And I think Mikel Arteta is now really trying to weigh in and ponder on it, onto whether go in for Xhaka or Fabio Vieiria. Reason being, Fabio Vieiria is a natural. Talent is his other name. You have to reckon with him because he's one of those talents that they signed that least people know, that few knew about him. And when you see him on the field of play, you'll know what he's all about. He's a very good player, and I think his being weak and his tiny size really limited his chances of really starting in the Premier League and very many other games. But after really gaining the real physicality that the manager is really wanting, he has really gone ahead to cause Mikel Arteta a lot of headache as far as this season is concerned. And Mikel Arteta, as it stands, he's really having a lot of thoughts running down his memory lane because of how good this player has proven to be, especially in training. He keeps pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and telling him, please, it's high time. I got a start ahead of Granit Xhaka. And I believe this guy deserves it. He deserves a start ahead of Granit Xhaka because he will add more to that attacking side of Arsenal than Granit Xhaka because he's press resistant and Arsenal is a ball passing side. As I told you about Jorginho, that he's going to fit well in that Arsenal side because Arsenal is a ball passing side. With Jorginho and his entire talent, he's for the very first time being played in a team that plays a system that suits him. The system too that Mikel Arteta is really aligning at Arsenal is really favoring Fabio Vieiria more than Granit Xhaka, and that's the cause of the headache. Xhaka is a physical player, not press resistant, good with his leadership skills on the field of play, but Fabio Vieiria always comes in through and really leads the way with his skill set and with his physicality. No longer a problem. I think the manager is really having loads of thoughts, and that's why the headache has been confirmed. Now, for William Saliba, William Saliba, 21 years of age, one of the best central defenders in the world in his age, has come out and told us that I want to win everything possible here at Arsenal and to put the club back on its very top where it was. I want to win every trophy. Since first time fans sang my chant, I'm always happy. I can't smile in the game because I have to be focused. I love it much. So that chant that was initiated by the Arsenal fans while they were in America went ahead to gain its fame when Saliba found himself conceding an own goal against Leicester City, and the game was 2-1 as he really tried to put out a back pass to Ramsdale, and Ramsdale had already gone out of position. Instead of the fans coming out and really slating him, they came out and really just sang his name in praise, and that's the chant he's talking about. Talking of winning trophies, he's trophy hungry. He wants to win trophies for the club of Arsenal. So guys, your thoughts on Gabriel Jesus' progress, exciting Mikel Arteta, are welcome in the comment section below. Why do you think Mikel Arteta is having headache over Fabio Vieira's performances? And lastly, Saliba. Do you think is going to be one of those players of Arsenal to lift the Premier League this season? Is he going to be fundamental? Because that's been magnificent. But is he going to be fundamental? Because ever since he left the World Cup, he has been a little bit rusty. And I think he's trying to fight to get back to his form. Thank you guys for watching in through. Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from. I'm out, my good mates.